Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. So the death toll from the Texas flooding, which is looking more and more, very much looking like weather manipulation. Now, I don't believe that they manipulated it to the point where they wanted to kill people like this, but there was definitely some weather manipulation that's going on. Don't mess with Mother Nature, all right? So these guys are like really, pushing the envelope, and we're seeing what happens when you do this. And this has been ongoing for a long time in Texas, playing with the weather. And we're seeing the catastrophic effects of playing with the weather on a larger scale. They're trying to, I guess, reduce the drought in some areas in Texas, and it was catastrophic results. So as we've seen, unfortunately, though, as we've seen with these events, they're trying to place the blame somewhere else. And they're starting to say, why didn't you, to local authorities, why didn't you, from evidence there was going to be this flooding, why didn't you go out and, warn people? And they're like, this was not, something that was reported in the weather. So we have to watch this stuff because this is the way these guys do this. So we know that there's manipulation that goes on behind the scenes. Now, whether they decided that it was going to be on a catastrophic result level, and whether there were some actors, like I've been an actor in a lot of these plays where they come in and, the military, CIA, and so forth, and we present a certain ideal, and behind the scenes, we have the deep state playing their games. The psychopaths love to do dirty deeds, all right? So very, very possible that the psychopaths got involved in this and made this into an extreme event. And they like extreme events because it takes focus off of other things that they're doing that are evil. All right, so they're constantly trying to ramp out all kinds of different catastrophic, events. So this is crazy the way these guys operate. It's just nonstop, doing crazy events like this throughout history, right? So we have to be aware of this, because if we're aware of this and bring our attention to it, we can start to prevent it and even shut it down. So let's look at some of the things that are going on right now. Death toll and devastating Central Texas flash floods climbs to 81, with more than 40 remain missing. So it looks like we're going to see 100 plus deaths from this event. So the devastating flash floods slammed Texas Hill Country, with water rescues taking place along the Guadalupe River. The Guadalupe River is one of the 5 top places for flooding. It was nearly dry, if not dry, I guess, at the time this rainfall. Hence, they were cloud seeding, which, like I said, has been going on for decades in Texas. It's not something new. We've talked about it for decades, and they constantly say that we're conspiracy theorists. Now it's coming out in the open. And I think some people need to be held accountable, right? So they're going to push the narrative and try and blame others, saying that like I said, there were reports that were coming out that this flooding was coming, and the local authorities were like, absolutely not. And, they're on record now saying it, that there was not any indication that flooding of this caliber was coming, right? So they do this all the time. You look all the way back to 9/11, where information was coming out, and they slowly, methodically buried that information and took it offline, right? And then other people that came out and started to share information, were suicided or had fatal accidents, so forth. So we'll see how far this goes if we start to see fatal accidents and suicides involved with this, because this is going to be this is, as right now, a big reveal. But a lot of people are going to get trapped up in the mainstream media, which is manipulated by the deep state. They're going to try and turn this on other people. So this, remember, this is their method, and we have to learn their method to defeat them. All right. So Greg Abbott's was not around when this happened. This is very similar to Lahaina, where the governor left, or the mayor left Lahaina and went to a big meeting on flooding and disasters, not flooding, but disasters and fires, I guess, in Oahu or something. So it is a pattern we're starting to see from these jokesters. All right. So I call it out when I see it. And you guys just do a little research, you're going to find the same thing. All right, so I'm going to share the screen. We're going to look at, there's more weather coming. Now there's also, I don't know if I have it in my lineup, but I was watching it earlier. So I do a lot of research before these shows. And my intention to share things sometimes does not coincide with the information that I line up to share. But I'll tell you this, if it's not lined up, there were weather patterns that show there was a massive burst all from the Gulf of weather. So it does seem on a certain level that they manipulated this to be a catastrophic event, right? And it's not stopping. It's not stopping. There's more weather coming in. So you already have saturated ground. You bring more rain in, you're going to have more flooding, right? And this could be to cause more confusion, make it harder to rescue those people that still could be rescued. So the death count goes up even higher. This is the way these guys operate. I've been reporting on this for decades. This is not something new, but we have to start to look at the pattern of these psychopaths, right? And start to put attention on them. They're way behind the scenes. They're way above Greg Abbott, right? They're way above presidents. They're way above billionaires. These are very, very, hidden people or entities that do this manipulation, guys. So I'm going to share the screen. We're going to look at Weatherman Plus. He's one of my go-to people. He's very spiritual. He calls this out just like I'm calling out. Of course, his information is based in science, so he's not going to go too far down that rabbit hole like I do, but yet he does touch on it. So let's listen to what he's saying.
Through that storm, that front is going to bring a lot of storms along the south, the southeast, and the mid-Atlantic. And this is going to potentially add up to a lot of heavy rainfall, if not something very close to home spinning up. You need to watch this very closely. Showing as we go into Tuesdays, when you're going to get all that heavy rainfall added up, and as you go through Wednesday and beyond, it's going to start tapering off through eastern Texas, Louisiana, get pulled a little more for the upper level low. But that is going to bring more rainfall once again towards central Texas. Now, as of right now, you still have the slight risk and the marginal for flash flooding for today. And this includes Killeen. So please be aware of this. Also for tomorrow, it's going to turn into that marginal, which I think could go right back into a slight risk if more rainfall does show that it's coming down. So please be aware of this. Showing that one of our saving graces is going to be this dust that's moving in from the Gulf as you come in from Wednesday and Thursday and push all that precipitation to the north, which will keep it dry from any further rainfall coming towards the south central. Showing that as we go through for that storm for Thursday and Friday, it is going to add up to more rainfall, but then it's really going to come across for the north, also for the southern side. And then when that front comes down and brings these storms, it's going to add up even more, all the way from the south central, all the way towards the southeast and the mid-Atlantic.
So look at that red and white. We're looking at 8 to 10 inches or more. So that's from central Texas all the way down through the Gulf states and over into the west coast of Florida. Of course, all of Florida is going to get several more inches. It's already starting. I'm pretty sure at this point the drought in Florida is done, and now we're going to start the saturation process before we get big hurricanes that are going to hit Florida.
rainfall. And speaking of heavy rainfall, look at all these world events that happened just in the last 3 days.
Yeah, look at all these world events. This is insane. Look at all the flooding all over the world. Spain, Italy, Vietnam, China, big time in China. I'm going to show a video on that. So Sicily, Mexico, another area in China, Indonesia, and of course in Texas.
This is ridiculous. Links are in the description for everything I'm about to show you. So for floods, you can see right here for Kerrville going all the way towards San Antonio, Georgetown, Leander, Texas. You can see what's happening for Texas. You can also see Russia, Indonesia, China, Vietnam, Spain, Italy, all this flooding that has happened just within the last 3 days. Also hail in Italy. As I scroll it down, snow in China, snow in South Africa, snow in Turkey, a tornado in South Dakota, plus a volcano was happening over in Nicaragua and Japan, all the fires and an earthquake in Iceland.
Now, a lot of this is from sun activity, guys. So we have a lot of energy, electrical energy coming off the sun, and coronal mass ejections, all kinds of stuff are coming off the sun right now, and really up in the energy of the earth. So for anyone that understands the energy of the earth, of course, they try and dumb us down on this, but anyone that with simple knowledge of this, of course, they have advanced knowledge, and they hide that from us. They dumb us down in all of our school systems so that we don't understand this information. They use that knowing the energies are going up. They're using those energies to take these storms, volcanoes, earthquakes, and so forth to another level, All right. So they have lots of tools to do that. They have HAARP machines, directed energy weapons, and of course, cloud seeding. So lots of different, and probably some out there that I'm not even aware of, quite frankly. So military not in control. Military is in control of what it is in control of. The deep state is in control of what they are in control of. So we're in a war. So when two opposing forces, face off against each other, each side has its capabilities. So when you falsely believe that the military is completely in control, then you don't understand that the military industrial complex, how long have you heard that? Since Eisenhower. So that means, because he was in the military, he was the top general of the United States during World War II, and then became president. So he's trying to tell us there is something else going on out there that I'm not even in control of. So come on, guys. So when someone says military, that's disinformation, or someone is uninformed. All right. So yes, we are at war. So come on, get with the program.
Not to mention what's going on in Texas, because anyone that is a parent is just heartbroken over what's going on, especially for all these girls that's going over there. They wait all year for this summer camp. This has never been seen. This is not normal. I see meteorologists out there saying this is totally normal. It's not normal. They're the same ones that says when you see all that spraying going on in the sky, that it's actually the airplane leaving certain altitudes. You need to watch out for them, because it's not true. This is not normal. People have not seen this. They live there over 30 years. Now, Camp Mystic, that has been hit really hard. Still have a lot of girls missing from over there. I believe it's 27 still missing. This is a Christian camp. Once again, links in the description. You go.
All right. So we know the deep state, the military industrial complex, is a good portion of the CIA, FBI, so forth. They are not Christian. All right. They're Luciferian. So any chance they get to come after a Christian entity like this Christian girls camp, they're going to do it, guys. And this could be one of the things. They always have multiple reasons they do the things they do. It's not like we're just going to flood this area and we're going to kill some people. There could be one person they wanted to kill. And then they're like, well, we can kill a bunch that will hide that. Oh, yeah. And there's a Christian girls camp. Let's kill a bunch of them too. Really throw a bunch of, really, screw things up for people and make people fearful and despondent and sorrowful and all the things, agony, all the things, lower consciousness levels that they like to impose and then loose on us for that.
See it. This is where the girls go to have a great time. They all hang out. They get peaceful. They get spiritual food, everything. This is a Christian camp for girls. And now it is trashed. The same buildings where all these girls is missing, presumably down the river, or God knows other bad information of what happened with that. But the same camp of girls is the same groups that are missing everybody. So please pray for these families. If you have a child, you know exactly what these parents are going through. This is horrible. I would not want to live without my daughter. And not only that, people have a lot of flooding issues with the homes in general over there. People that has hospice, they need help, and people just crying out for help. Look outside this woman's front door. Look at her view outside her front door. That is a river out there, everyone, an ocean pretty much. Look at this. That is tragic. And this is not normal. Do not believe people are telling you this is normal. This rose 34 feet, less than 2 hours, everybody.
So good job for Weatherman Plus, hammering it from his end. And Todd put in trafficking. That's a good point, Todd, because we see these little girls are missing. They could have been, again, multiple reasons why they do these events. So they benefit from that. So they, from trafficking, probably, capture some of these poor girls, and they're going to turn them into sex slaves or something worse, and sacrifice or adrenochrome, whatever they're going to do with them. That's going to earn them a lot of money. That'll pay for all the cloud seeding they did and all the weather manipulation they did, right? So always multiple reasons why they do these things. So good job, you guys. Think outside the box. Start to tie all this stuff together so we can defeat these assholes, right? This is getting old, right? So the weather is going to get crazier. It's not going to give up. It's going to continue to change and get more and more severe all over the world. And this is part of the manipulation of the deep state, right? So look at China. China is, about as deep state as they come. And they've manipulated a lot of the Democrat and some Republicans through the voting process and so forth. So now we're going to see China destroy a lot of its people.
Decoding China, where you'll find all the essential information you need. The Three Gorges Dam nightmare arrives. Dams can't hold up, quietly releasing water, half of China submerged in floods. Towns wiped out, human and animal corpses floating everywhere. In the past few days, multiple regions in China have been hit by extreme heavy rainfall combined with reservoir water releases, leading to widespread flooding, with disasters breaking out intensively across the southwest, central, and southern parts of the country. These sudden floods have not only destroyed the hard-earned property of countless families, but have also plunged the lives of many ordinary people into despair. Some areas have experienced severe disasters, with urban flooding, submerged villages, disrupted roads, and frequent reports of casualties. The sight of human and animal corpses floating everywhere has made the disaster even more severe. On the evening of July 4th, a mudslide struck Damba County in Sichuan's Gansu Prefecture, with torrents of mud and debris crashing down, instantly destroying entire houses and snapping a bridge in half. Eyewitnesses screamed as they fled, and shocking videos of the event spread rapidly online. In Guangxi Space City, a 5-story residential building by the river collapsed entirely into the water. In Gansu's Longnan City, days of heavy rainfall triggered landslides, resulting in the deaths of 2 workers at a construction site. In Sichuan's Chengdu, river level.
All right, so you can see the devastation. This is just one part of China. I've been reporting and showing a lot of this devastation in China. We keep hearing the Three Gorges Dam. They built I think 100 dams right now are under threat. Three Gorges Dam, it's well above flood stage. Will it collapse? Probably not. But China needs that power to power AI, artificial intelligence. They are moving as fast as they can to become the dominant AI controller of the world. That's why President Trump is pushing so hard for America to be the dominant AI. So a lot of people don't understand this. They get very fearful, and they think President Trump and his team is trying to do evil things with AI. They hear AI and they're like instantly, a cloud comes in front of their eyes or something. I don't know. AI is going to be incredible for the future when, just like the computer, just like the internet, which, as we know, gets manipulated, people get taken advantage of in the internet. If AI from a negative source like China becomes a dominant source, what do you think they're going to do? Imagine China, the people of China, controlled and suppressed, and like you just saw with that flooding, constantly hammered by their government. Imagine that happening all over the world. And if AI from a negative source like China gets control of AI, we're doomed. We're doomed. So they need the power. So is there some kind of war that's going on to take away the power control system that China needs for the AI? We could be seeing that. Now, we know that President Trump is trying to up our power generation. And you're going to see that going forward, because there needs to be a lot of power to power the AI, right? So incredible things are happening, but of course there's incredible manipulation also. So I put in a search, how many states are using cloud seeding? 9 US states are using cloud seeding. California, Colorado, Idaho, Nevada, New Mexico, North Dakota, Texas, of course, 7 different companies that we know of, Utah, and Wyoming. So these programs are primarily funded at the state level or below, with local agencies and utilities often playing a significant role in funding, especially in states like California and Texas. Utah in particular provides substantial state support for cloud seeding. So I remember there was an article here many years ago here in Lake Tahoe where they were doing cloud seeding for more snow. So this is not anything new. All right. It goes back in time for many, many years, cloud seeding. You can look it up and see it's going back into the 60s. So not something new. All right. So other things we need to look at is how fast this rose. This is not something new either. And I've stressed this last year, that we needed to work together to calm a lot of those hurricanes that came in. And I think we did a phenomenal job. They got the best of us with Hurricane Helene, though. They worked around us pretty good on that one. But pretty much all the other hurricanes were downgraded. They could have been a lot bigger. I said that they would be bigger, and I said the only way they're not going to be big, and I said exactly where we're going to hit. Almost every single place that I said, I say probably, I don't know how many hit, but the one that I missed was Miami. I said one would come in just below Miami and go all the way up Florida, and that one didn't happen, right? But all the other ones happened, and a lot of people thought that the one that hit Texas was going to hit Mexico. They tried to fool us for a long time, guys, so that we take our focus off. Now, I was saying all along, for like weeks before that hurricane was going to hit the Houston area, and then that one hurricane came in. It was a Cat 5 that went by Jamaica. It slammed into Mexico at the Cabo San Lucas. No, not Cabo San Lucas. Anyway, so it hit the eastern side of Mexico. Excuse me, and it started up, and everybody said, and all the weathermen said it was going to go west and slam into Mexico, right? And it didn't. It came out into the Gulf where there was warm water, but it never intensified. That was quite a miracle. Yes, spiritual journey, Acapulco. All right, so Acapulco is where I want to take your attention to, and I talked about it a lot last year. So the rapid intensification within 12 hours. So people went to sleep in Acapulco. They like to do it at night when everybody's asleep. So everybody went to sleep. There was a tropical storm off, Acapulco, and he said maybe it'll strengthen to a Cat 1 by the time you wake up. It was a Cat 5 by the time everybody woke up, and they had record-setting wind gusts to 208 miles per hour, a max wind gust that they recorded, right? So I talked a lot about this, and I said, this is the way the deep state is going to do this in the future. That's what they just did in Texas, guys. Rapid intensification, right? While everybody's sleeping. All right, so let's share this on Hurricane Otis.
On the evening of October 23rd, 2023, residents of Acapulco, Mexico went to bed hearing that Tropical Storm Otis was 175 miles to the south in the Eastern Pacific and was expected to remain a tropical storm. But by the morning of the 24th, Otis had become a hurricane. It was intensifying rapidly and at a far greater rate than the intensity models were predicting. In fact, the models didn't catch up to what Otis was doing until late in the day. Dire warnings were issued for Acapulco just hours before landfall for an unprecedented hurricane. Less than 24 hours since it had been a tropical storm, Otis had become a 165 mile per hour Category 5 hurricane. It made landfall in Acapulco as a Category 5 just before 1 a.m. local time on the 25th. It was a terrifying night, with windows and walls being blown out of high-rise hotels, exposing entire floors. 80% of Acapulco's hotels were damaged, along with 98% of the city's homes. Dozens were killed and tens of thousands were displaced. More than 4,000 businesses were wiped out.
And Acapulco was scheduled to be a 15-minute city.
Hundreds of boats washed ashore. In an area where landfalls are rare, Otis became the costliest hurricane in Mexico history. A large part of what made the rapid intensification of Otis difficult for the models to predict is a relative lack of observational data in the Eastern Pacific. Intensity for.
All right, so he's going to blow smoke and say the reason why, bullshit. The reason why is because the deep state came in and ramped this thing up. So the evidence is there. I'm just going to slide through and show you some more of the pictures because I can't stand to hear bullshit.
Otis is rapid intent, and it occurs as passed over exceptionally warm ocean waters. For the last several decades, an increase in rapid intensification has been observed among global tropical cyclones. Warmer oceans appear to be an important driver, and a study published just this spring revealed an increase in rapid intensification near coastlines due in part to higher humidities and reduced wind shear.
Blah, blah, effing blah. All right. So, they show us the information and then they seed in the disinformation. So you have to be aware when they're doing that. You can't just watch this stuff and go, oh, this is fact. That's bullshit. You have to do your research. All right. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Right. But you know what I'm talking about. Not a fan of a lot of these news organizations, guys. And I hope you guys aren't at this point as well. All right. So I looked it up on Wikipedia. It said nothing of the 205 mile per hour wind gust. Nothing. It said there were 165 mile per hour sustained winds. So this is how they bury stuff. They get, sites like Wikipedia to put in complete bullshit and, talk about global warming, warm water. Yeah, warm water makes hurricanes as like forever. So, and then they make it sound like there's never been warm water to do hurricanes. Hurricanes have been hammering, for thousands of years. So anyway, so Cat 5, morning hours, October 25th, right, late in the hurricane season as well. So they talk about the 52 deaths were directly attributed to Otis and another 32 missing. So they play with the death numbers as well. Instead of giving us all the numbers, they will play around like that. Because I know I have friends that were in Florida, my area, and they were driving around in their boats. It was hard for them to get their boat in the water because the police kept stopping everyone trying to put their boats in the water so that they could see what was going on. And my friend said they saw lots of body bags. And there wasn't that many deaths in Florida, compared to the level of flooding. Again, another one of those where, the hurricane's well off the coast. It's not that big of a hurricane, yet the flooding was off the charts, all up and down the west coast of Florida, right? And then, of course, it went inland, and there was even more devastation. More people died. More people died in a lot of the states other than Florida than died in Florida. A lot more, especially in North Carolina, where they had like that 1,000-year flooding in the mountains up there. So we're still being hammered by the deep state, guys. This is not ending. So here it is right here. An over 200 mile per hour wind gust of 205 mile per hour was measured by instruments along the northeast side of Acapulco. Now, what another bullshit thing that they don't talk about is the fact that there was not a lot of rain and water associated with this hurricane. It was mostly a wind hurricane. Wow. So, yeah, we aren't losing, but it's not over. Absolutely, Penny. So we have to stay focused and we have to continue. Texas officials face scrutiny over response to catastrophic deadly flooding. To July holiday for flowers. Dane's house on the Guadalupe River. Nothing in the forecast alarmed him. Hours later, he was rushing to safety. He woke up in darkness to electrical sockets popping and ankle-deep water. Quickly, his family scrambled 9 people into the attic. Phones buzzed with alerts. Flowers were called Saturday, but he did not remember when in the chaos, it didn't happen before the chaos, but in the chaos. So I've seen reports where they were like reporting that this flooding was coming before it came. That's bullshit. So again, they're going to try and do this to cover their evil deeds, guys. Done dirt cheap, right? AC/DC. Yeah. Highway to hell, right? So let's look at this is I'm going to share Tracy Derwin, brush junkie. She has another guy she works with. They do reports on everything. I think they started with Lahaina. That's when I first started following them. All the anomalies with the directed energy weapons, they pointed it all out. And they pointed out the LA. They pointed out a lot of the fires that have happened all over the USA and the flooding. So they do an excellent job. Highly recommend you follow Brush Junkie. All right. Doing a great job informing people. All right. So, there's a lot of us out here trying to inform people, but sometimes it feels like it's not getting much traction. Sometimes it does. But the fact that this is still going on obviously reveals that it's not enough traction because they're still doing it.
Way more severe than usual. And here Greg Abbott was not in town. He is now, and he has made many statements. Here's a post saying rain enhancement.
Rain enhancement. All right. So this is Evergreen. Evergreen. Where have we heard about them? So when I was in the SEAL Team 6, we used to jump at a secret location. It's not secret anymore, but at the time it was. And it was right next to an Evergreen airport. And all the guys who were in the know were like, that's CIA. So I wonder if we're still seeing the CIA involved here. So you see right there, rain enhancement, purpose of project or activity, South Texas, Evergreen UGWCD. Now I looked up Evergreen UWCD, and it says when atmospheric conditions are favorable for precipitation enhancement, a pilot is dispatched to begin seeding operations. The airplane releases hygroscopic flares containing calcium chloride crystals. Since calcium chloride is a salt, it attracts water vapor until the particles are heavy enough to fall as rain. So Evergreen, you look up that rain enhancement Evergreen UGWCD that was in that report, you're going to see they have been involved for a very, very long time. I see there's one 1995, the Texas legislature enacted a $5 million cost sharing program for conducting activities to increase rainfall through seeding clouds. 1995. This has been going on for a long time. How many other flooding events that caused death and destruction can we go back and look at that were anomalies and say this was probably cloud seeding that caused this problem? I bet we could probably go back and see a lot, right? But could we, find evidence? Because when you cloud seed discreetly, like they've been doing for years, while on the ground we're saying chemtrails, right? And everybody's like, you're crazy. Now it's out in the open. It's out in the open now. So where do we go from here now that it's out in the open?
The forecast that we received on Wednesday from the National Weather Service predicted 3 to 6 inches of rain in the Concho Valley and 4 to 8 inches of rain in the Hill Country. We worked with our own meteorologists to fine-tune that weather statement, and as many of you know, and many of you in broadcast journalism and meteorology, you can go back and look at your own forecast, and the amount of rain that fell in this specific location was never in any of those forecasts.
This rain event sat on top of that and dumped more rain than what was forecasted on both of those forks. When we got the report, it was about 7 feet or so on the South Fork, and within a matter of minutes, it was up to 29 feet, and all of that converged at the Guadalupe, and that's where we saw those very quick rise in flood.
But listen, everybody got the forecast from the National Weather Service, right? You all got it. You're all in media. You got that forecast. It did not predict the amount of rain that we saw.
All right, so I wanted as many people to hear that the officials didn't know that much rain was going to fall.
Shockwave that covers every single Gulf state. Whatever this is, some sort of front, some sort of weird weather manipulation type thing going on, you can see the entire shockwave of this thing rolling up from the center of the Gulf, straight up to all states that touch that water.
Okay, and then when you look at that, you see those blue rings kind of, going, getting bigger and kind of going back. According to Dane Whittington, those are towers that deflect the storm. So that is his explanation for how they steer these storms.
All right. So obviously there's multiple groups that are involved in this. So towers, 5G towers or whatever, have special equipment on them. Or the 5G itself could be used as directing, as we know. sending energies out, just zooming them out there. We get hit with these every night, all of us, right? They hammer us at night, usually around 3 o'clock. So if you're waking up at 3 o'clock, you're getting pounded by 5G because they ramp it up during the middle of the night. Why? Who's up talking in the middle of the night, right? It's to cause problems. We know that. So this is an ongoing thing. How many groups are involved? What groups are involved? We need to find that out. You can see the good guys there are saying, if we had gotten the word, we would have liked to move people. I mean, obviously. Why would they say, oh yeah, it's gonna rise 40 feet? Oh well, let's just go to sleep and see what happens. No, that's bullshit. So the media is trying to, and don't be surprised if they have someone that will start to say, yeah, we made a mistake. We knew it was coming. One of their little trolls, one of their little, puppets that they'll have come in, and they'll have the mainstream media come in. Like, there was plenty of information that was being put out that these storms were going to be massive. Why didn't you move people? Well, we made a mistake. Some jackass will come out and say that, and then they'll leap on that, and they'll share it, and then they'll spread it, and then everybody's going to be hammering those innocent people like they always do. It's frustrating. All right, so that's how they work. That's how they manipulate things, guys. So let's go into some other manipulation. Let's go into the economic manipulation. 3 months ago, we saw a massive drop, 20% drop in the stock market. And now stocks are up 20%, right? So everybody's like, wow. Remember when Trump said it's a good time to get in the stock market? Well, that was because it's up 20% since then. So he's in on their game, guys. And he's trying to help us out. So at some point, probably when this thing is ready to completely and totally collapse, he'll probably give us a heads up on that. I'm hoping anyway. But and maybe he won't be able to. Who knows? So that more of them can be trapped. I don't know. But you have extreme fear like we had 3 months ago, stock market dropping. Probably most of you are like, what? So 3 months, that's a long time ago. But I followed these, for most of my life, the stock markets and silver prices, most of my life, right? So I've seen the manipulation. It's very frustrating. But if you know they're going to manipulate, you can, create wealth while they're manipulating, and other people are getting hammered, slammed, right? Most people get slammed, most people, but that doesn't have to happen to all of us. All right. So right now, I believe we're moving into the next week, this upcoming week. We may start to see a pullback. We're starting to see futures are down. That doesn't mean anything. We could see a last little uptick possibly this week. And who knows, maybe it keeps going up, guys. I don't know. But we're at extreme greed. So we went from extreme fear to now extreme fear or greed. So that means a lot of people think this thing's going to go a lot higher, and that's usually when it doesn't, right? So we just popped an all-time high again for all the major indices. So we're probably going to see, I believe, another pullback. I don't think it's going to be a deep one. I think it's going to be shallow, and then it's going to turn around and head higher. It's going to fool some people. People are going to, they'll probably talk it up like, oh, get out. And then all the dumb money will, because the dumb money's probably getting in right now. And then when it goes down, they're going to dump their money. They're going to lose, right? This is the way this works. It's manipulation. They're masters at it. It's very, very, even though I followed this for, most of my life, I would say at least 50 years more, I still get bamboozled by these guys, right? They're very clever, and you have to be, I've made a lot of money. I've lost a lot of money. But the one thing that I've always done well in is precious metals. So I called the last precious metal high and top, and I've been calling that this is going to be precious metals boom like we have never seen before in history. This is a once in a multi-generation buying opportunity in precious metals, guys. All right, so if you look at futures now, silver looks like it's down now because I was going to come in and talk it up, but it just went up and hit a new multi-year high because silver before the market opens does future trading, as we're seeing with the other indices, and it was up to the high before was like 37.40 or something like that. So it's already, hit a new all-time high. So right there. So 7/6/2025 at 6:31 p.m. Eastern time is when it hit a new multi-year high. So I think we can and probably will see this thing go to 38.39 pretty quick. And that's going to be built upon maybe a little pullback, and then we'll punch through 40, a little bit of a pullback, and then we're going to move to 50. A little bit of a pullback, and then we're going to go beyond 50 and $60, $70. And the thing that is different from all the other big highs that we've seen in precious metals, silver, gold, you name it, platinum, is that they'll do a massive pump and then a massive takedown. We are not seeing that now with silver and gold, right? It's staying high and it's going higher, much higher. So let's look at another chart. Some of you guys are into crypto. I've been in crypto. I've been in and out of crypto. I made a lot of money in crypto. Crypto is what really made my first big wealth, right? So I've done really well in crypto. Silver is now the biggest wealth maker I've ever had in my life, right? So I started in silver several years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, right around 2021. I said, this is where you get in and you make incredible wealth, right? So if you look at silver right now, there's charts. This is at Kirk Elliott's. If you're not at kepm.com, definitely you need to contact them and get into silver, guys. This is like I said, a multi-generation opportunity. So let's look at let's go with 1 year. All right, so silver, as you see, is up to 36.89 on this chart. What has the Dow done over the last year? All right, so silver's up 20%. The Dow's up a little over 10%. Let's look at the S&P. So that's double. Silver's doubled the Dow. Now look at S&P. A lot of people invest in S&P. So that's up 10%. Same thing. Same thing with the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's a little bit more, I think 11, 12%. And because I like to invest in NASDAQ, it performs better than the other two. But so still, silver up 20%. What would you rather have? Would you rather have, let's say you have $1 million, or would you rather have another 100,000 on your $1 million, or would you rather have 200,000 on your $1 million? Duh. All right. So FTSE, that's the British, the UK. It hasn't done. It's under 10% for the year. Crude oil is down 20% on the year. And of course, with silver up 20%, that's a 40% gap. And the US dollar down 10%, that's a 30% gap, right? So again, silver, I've been beating this drum for many, many years now. And it is, again, the buying opportunity of a lifetime. And it's very easy to do it. You put your money in silver and you're like, it's good to go. You don't need to invest in all these other crazy scams, all right? So will crypto go up? I said crypto will probably go to 125,000. But I've been out making money in other places, not waiting for this thing to go up and down, up and down, up and down. Same thing with all the other like XRP and stuff. I made a mint on XRP. And now I've translated it into silver profits, right? So will those go up? Yes, they will go up. How much will they go up? They're not going to go up as much as silver is, right? Silver is going to do another 20, 50, 100% from where it's at right now, right? So, and I don't like to do like 1x shit. I like it like multiples, right? 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to see silver do probably close to 5x from where it's at right now, easily, right? So into next year, 5x, right? You're not going to see a 1x unless crypto pulls back, which it probably will in the next few weeks. I think it's going to pull back, and you guys who just have to have crypto, this is going to be a very good buying opportunity, but you're going to miss out on a even better buying opportunity, and that's silver, right? So I will continue to try and inform you, right? So another great opportunity is LifeWave. So I've been doing LifeWave now for 3 years. So LifeWave has been incredible, not only for my health, but also for my wealth. Now they have a new transformative trio. If you get the performance bundle, which is the X39, X49, if you get in the bundle, you save all the way up to July 13th, you will get a free Aeon patch kit, which is 30 patches. Aeon is great for inflammation. It's good for, it keeps you calm and cool under pressure. It does wonders for your brain. So it has a lot of transformative abilities, just like the stem cell activity that you get with X39 and X49 and Cellergize. So Cellergize, my wife and I have been using Cellergize. We love it. We've been using it for about 2 months now. And it's got all the vitamins and nutrition that will make your stem cell activity go to the next level. So all the patches, it takes it to the next level. So great opportunities, getting involved with LifeWave. And of course, I'm very much involved with it. And I highly recommend you guys go to LifeWaveMichaelJaco.com and get more informed. And you can start using the patches. You can get involved with actually building a business. It's one of the greatest business opportunities. It is the best business opportunity that I have ever been involved in by far. Nothing compares, right? So my team, we're helping a lot of people advance, and it's going to continue. So exponential growth, rock solid 20-year-old company, wholesale pricing, 3 low-cost starter packs, easy to get started. Easy to get started, join my team. My team will take care of you. So there's a different core, advanced, premium. And of course, we've got other options for you too, right? Discover LifeWave and all the different things. Energy Enhancer was formulated for the SEAL teams by David Schmidt. And that's how I got involved with it a few years ago. It's like, the SEALs use that? I remember that. I missed out on that. So then I got involved with it and I love it. So I wear the Energy Enhancer every day. All right. So a lot of other things that are involved going forward. Red Sea attack. So, it's not going to be just, the deep state, being taken down in the United States, the political, manipulation that goes on, overcoming that judicial side, of course, the military industrial complex, and, sealing the border up, which has helped quite significantly, placing military throughout America now. All right. So when the coming deep state attacks start to happen and they rile up their people in the deep state cities to, go crazy, we're going to have military involved like we did in LA. And like they just sent, I think 300 Marines to Florida. Florida has also started, a new base for handling illegal aliens, Alligator Alley, Alligator Alcatraz, right? So there is, lots of things afoot. Arizona also has a lot of military. Texas, of course, military on its borders. California, I don't know. I think they do in California too. Probably a little bit in New Mexico. So we're continuing to see, the Trump team, move in quietly into position for the coming deep state war that we're in, and it's going to go to another level, right? It's going to get more kinetic. It's coming. Meanwhile, we're taking down the deep state all around the world. We're helping Russia take down the deep state in Ukraine. And of course, we're helping I would say Israel is helping us take down the deep state throughout the Middle East. Red Sea attack. So rockets burn Israel-bound cargo vessel near Yemen. So I spent some time in Yemen before things got bad when I was with CIA. And I remember telling those guys, it's going to get really bad. You're probably not going to be here for much longer. And has been the case. So now we're seeing the Houthi and the Blowfish are basically having their way out there, and they're getting hammered by the U.S. Anytime they come out and raise their heads, they're going to get hammered. So the Houthis came in and basically, grabbed a cargo ship, caused some problems here, and then Israel got involved. So Yemen has still not learned their lesson. The Iranian-backed Yemenis, all right, the Houthis, and they're getting hammered right now. So Israel, Operation Black Flag. The Israeli Defense Force strikes Houthi-controlled ports in Yemen. So from those ports, they launched attacks on commercial shipping. And first Israel strike on Yemen since assassination attempt on Houthi military chief. Military strikes ports of Ras Isa, Hodeidah, and As Salif, citing military activity at sites. Commercial ship attack by Houthis in 2023 also hit. So they basically seized a commercial ship, which maybe they were trying to do with this one, and maybe they will still. But they seized a commercial ship, and it looks like they were using it for terrorist activities, right? Or at least that's what they say, right? So I guess they hit that. I don't know if they knocked it out or damaged it or sunk it, whatever. So it's an ongoing war to destroy the Iranian terrorist network, guys. And I've talked about this. I've seen it firsthand all around the world for decades. For over 30 years, when I worked overseas in the SEAL teams and in the CIA, I saw the thumb of Iran all around that area, causing death and mayhem, right? All right, so this is, some of the high-tech weaponry that's out there, and occasionally you get a little taste of what it looks like. So this is not recent. This is something that's just been revealed. It's a new, fresh video of Israeli strike on Iran. Look at how devastating this is. Look at those cars flipping end over end through the air. Wow. So I'm skeptical that was a military target, right? With those cars flipping through the air, but war is hell. Don't mess around. So the Iranian people for 40, 44, 45, 46 years, however long it's been since the Iranian Revolution, have had to suffer under the mullahs, right? The clerics, the radical clerics. And you can see those radical clerics like Khomeini, the first one. You could see him in the early stages where he's all like with the people and he's like smiling. You can see him smiling. He's smiling and laughing and having a good time. And then he becomes a leader. It's just like that stern face. You know, the stern faces of Khomeini, all those years, for decades, he looked like some kind of evil devil, right? And that's the way that's their look, you know, that's their look. And that's the way they are. They're devils. All right. So President Trump, or someone looking like President Trump at Mar-a-Lago. Of course, we know that President Trump has body doubles. Anti-woke investment firm postpones Tesla ETF launch following Elon Musk's political party announcement. So yesterday I revealed, when it was revealed by Elon Musk, that he was starting his own political party. And I'm sorry about, I do not try and make those ads where women are displaying their panties and bras. I'm sorry, but that's not me. All right, so now look at this president. All right. So of course we have stand-ins. Now a lot of people argue, well, Joe Biden had stand-ins. No, Joe Biden was dead. Joe Biden had people that were playing him, right? We do not see that with President Trump. So the political party stuff is basically not getting good reviews from President Trump. He's not happy. He's not happy with that bullshit. And so remember what that President Trump looked like, right? And let's look at what President Trump looks like most of the time, not all of the time. But, you know, you can't be everywhere at once, all right? And, you know, the man's life has obviously been threatened quite often. So he's going to have other people that will come in and, you know, do different things for him. So that is President Trump right there. The one you guys saw was not, right? And many of us have been pointing this out just so it's like you guys can't go, well, that wasn't President Trump, so it's all a lie, and get all butthurt, right? Derek Johnson and I have both been pointing this out. Other people don't go there, but I think we need to be truthful in all this. And I think they're not going to come out and say, yeah, that was not President Trump. Of course not, right? There's disinformation. There's misdirection that has to happen in this war. Both sides do it. Who do you want to win? Do you want those guys doing that? And we are always truthful and, you know, up above boards, and then we lose? No. We have to play hardball just like they do, guys. So I just wanted to point that out, right? But when you see this face, this is B, right? There's no cloning here. Now, a lot of people thought I was cloned because I started using LifeWave. It made me look younger, made me look healthier, right? Rosy cheeks and all that good stuff. So you look at my photo, you go to my website, it has my photo when I first started LifeWave 3 years ago. And you look at me now, right? There's a difference. So live younger, be the light, get involved with LifeWave, right? Okay, guys. And LifeWave is, I think it basically activates the love energy within you, right? So some of you are struggling with that, right? So you're like, I can't send love to them, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about. That's bullshit. Like, you got to do it. Come on. This is the way we win. Because the evil ones, they're on a certain vibration. And when we send them a vibration that's very powerful and cancels their evil vibration, you got to believe we got to start sending it to them, guys. And of course, we prop each other up. We protect each other by sending each other love and helping each other out. So I send President Trump love all the time, right? So you're like, well, you sent love to Osama bin Laden. He got taken out and got killed. Yeah, because he was evil. President Trump is a good man of high spiritual, caliber, almost angelic-like. And when I send him love, powers them up, gives them more protection. So do the same, right? Send President Trump power of love. That's the power of love. Do, 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 all right. And you get more power of love when you use LifeWave. All right, guys. Lots of love. Stay in the love vibration. And I'll see you guys next time.